This was actually probably the hardest thing for me. I had two small children, and it was terrifying, as you said. And I think one of the hard things is that right now the image of a breast cancer survivor has become a warrior. And, you know, it's not that easy to go from the deer in the headlights to the warrior climbing Mount Everest. And I think it's really a state of mind. I think at the beginning you're just so overwhelmed with what's happening to you. I mean, I wish every patient could have a surgeon like you who gives them a hug. You know, everybody doesn't. But I think that just the mass of information, everything you have to absorb is so terrifying. But I think that once you are able to digest the information, I think that it's really a state of mind, I think, that being a victim. And if you look around, you'll find that so many people, other people are suffering or have these situations to deal with as you do. And you know, for me, I just kind of thought, eventually I just kind of believed that it was just something in my life. It was a challenge I had to overcome. I felt that inside I would kind of draw on reserves of strength. We're all survivors. We have DNA from the earliest man. We're all survivors, and we have that capacity inside us. And I think that if you just kind of grab on hold to that and know that you're here because your ancestors were able to survive. That's why we're all here, and you can do it too.
Now, Darryle, let me ask you to follow up on that. Was there a tipping point? In other words, when you moved sort of, boom, over to the point where you were feeling more empowered and got beyond sort of that victim state? And what would you share with people that helped you sort of reach that tipping point and make the shift in sort of your outlook on this?
It's funny you asked. There were actually two things that tipped me over, and they're very different. The first one was that I lived in fear. I had two small children. My mother had died young of a different kind of cancer. I was sure I was going to die, and I was walking around with the weight of the world on my shoulders. The first time I laughed, you know, cancer was the one thing in my life that I had been terrified of. It stalked me my whole life, and when I got it, it was almost surreal. But the first time I laughed, it was like being able to laugh at the thing that scared me most really helped tip me over and give me a power. The other thing was that I learned how to trust myself and to trust my own gut and my own instincts. And that made me feel also very powerful. And as I said, every person doesn't have a doctor like you who sounds, you know, so wonderful, you know, and I actually had trouble finding the right doctor.
Sure.
And I think sometimes you do, you know, when you're overwhelmed with all this information, sometimes you really do have to just trust your own gut and feel what is right for me. And once you are able to do that, I believe that gives you a huge power.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jay Harness, and I want to share with you important information that I believe that every newly diagnosed patient with breast cancer needs to know.
I'm a breast cancer survivor.
I am a breast cancer survivor.
I am a breast cancer survivor.
And I want every woman to know
About personalized breast cancer treatment
and the genomic test.
A test that helps guide a woman and her doctor
to the best treatment options for her.
Pass it on.